Hey, what's up, YouTubers? It's me again, Brian, aka Gamer55551, and I am back with a special My 2 Cent video for this week. And for this one, we're going to be taking a look at the Nintendo Direct that came out on Thursday, though. Was a bit surprised for some people, and it was about 30 minutes long, and I got a chance to watch it last night when it came out. And I will say, after watching it, though, I won't go as far as say I was blown away with it completely, but I won't say I came away disappointed either. Just like how I felt with the January Direct, though. And there were some good announcements, and there were some announcements that were kind of mixed, to say the least. So, at least in my opinion. And there have been some complaints about this Direct that I can understand from one perspective, but I can also have to look at it from another perspective as well. So why don't we get started with the first part of our video, and that is basically what I liked. And if you missed the Direct, though, I'll have a link in the description and you can check out the Direct yourself. So let me get started. Let me get my notes up. Alright, so we'll first start off with what I liked, though. Okay, we'll start with the first one, and that is Octopath Traveler. This is a game I've been looking forward to trying out when it eventually comes out, and we now have I believe a release date of July 16th. I remember trying out the demo, and it is actually a very impressive game. It's sort of like it kind of reminds me a little bit of the art, the style, or the way the approach is. Kind of reminds me a little bit, just a little, not completely though, of Paper Mario in a way, but instead the sprites are like what they were back in like the 16-bit era, you know, during like the Final Fantasy and all that stuff. But it's sort of like a 2D/3D kind of approach. It looks very impressive though, and I'm glad that game is coming. They also announced like a collector's edition, so that certainly is great. So that's definitely one I'm looking forward to. Okami HD is definitely another one I am looking forward to. This one I like though as well though. To me, I remember the original Okami that came out on the PS2, but my first time playing it was when it was released back on the Wii. And while it wasn't a perfect port though, I think some of the controls, at least with the Wii remote and nunchuck, took some getting used to. It was still a fun game nevertheless though, and I will say it's a good example of how a video game can be an art form in a way. That and other games as well, such as like Jet Set Radio series, Sega, please bring that back, to be exact. So, but going back on topic though, I'm glad Okami is coming to the Switch. Supposedly it's an eShop only title as far as I'm aware of, and that supports the touchscreen and the fact that you can use the two Joy-Cons to sort of do the drawings and the designs on it. So that's definitely nice as well. So at least it supports, it can be played both dock or undocked though. So that's definitely one I'm looking forward to trying out. The next one is, of course, the Dark Souls Remaster. I never got a chance to play the first one, though. I have played the third one, and I have played their other game that is exclusive on the PS4, and that is Bloodborne, though. And it's definitely one I'm willing to try out as well, especially with the Amiibo that was announced to it. However, those who are new to the series, this is the kind of game where you have to have patience, though, because you will die a lot. If you've never played a Dark Souls series or ever played the Bloodborne games though, be prepared to die a lot. It requires a lot of patience, it requires a lot of trial and errors though, so it's a game that's not going to appeal to everybody though, but I am glad that it's coming to the Nintendo Switch, so hopefully it does well enough when we get a Dark Souls 2 and 3 as well. But in the meantime, Dark Souls Remaster is coming with the Amiibo, so that's definitely one I do like though. The next one is going to be Kirby Star Alliance, though, and that one I just had a demo. They just recently released a demo, and I've been trying that one out, though, and it is actually fun, even though I'm not the biggest Kirby fan out there, though. I will admit, though, based on my time with that one, it is running at 30 frames per second, which isn't necessarily bad, but I will admit it would have been nice to see if the game ran at a 60 frames per second, though. But overall, I am liking what I'm seeing though. The gameplay is fun. Of course, it's the classic Kirby and so on. And the new friends thing looks kind of interesting as well. Plus, they also mentioned that there'll be, I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, some free updates for the game as well. So that's definitely a nice thing. So Overall, looking forward to Kirby Star Alliance. I think that comes out next week, but we'll have to wait and see. And last but not least, and this one is definitely one I'm very pleased about, and that is Splatoon 2 getting an all-new DLC, single-player DLC, called the Octo expansion. Pardon me if I'm saying the name wrong, though. I seen the trailer for that, and that looks nice, including the song, including the music for that video. That looks really, really neat. I like what I'm hearing about it. I think it's like over like 80 stages and all that stuff. I mean, I'll be honest with you, I'm a sucker for single-player games, though. Not that I hate multiplayer or anything like that. I'm not saying multiplayer games shouldn't exist or anything, but I prefer the single players over multiplayer games. So I'm glad Splatoon 2 is getting this new single player DLC. At the same time, I do question how much space that's going to take up on the Nintendo Switch, because there's a good chance it could be a very meaty one, and that might have encouraged you to invest maybe in a higher micro SD card. But we'll have to wait and see what the official specs or space for that one's going to be. But overall, Splatoon 2's new single player is definitely on my radar. I'm looking forward to trying that one out. Alright, this concludes this video, though, and we'll take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll be talking about games that I probably tried or definitely looking forward to trying out, though, as well. So take a quick break, and we will be right back. Okay, and we are back with part 2 of our video of my thoughts about the Nintendo Direct that happened on Thursday. And now that we got to the part that I do like, I wanted to talk about the parts of these games that some of them I am looking at worth trying, and some of them I probably am looking forward to playing as well on the Nintendo Switch. So why don't we get started with the part 2. So we'll start with the first one, and that is Mario Tennis 8. Now Ace. I said 8 by mistake, my bad. I'm sure we're all aware about how Mario Tennis, I think, was on the Wii U. A lot of people said it was half-baked and so on, and there was missing a lot of features. And it looks like this one does have basically is trying to correct that in lots of ways. The new tennis mechanics, though, I think, such as the Ultra Smash, where you could break another player's racket and they have to forfeit the game, to the story mode, to co-op, and of course online play as well. So it's definitely a game I'm looking forward to trying out. I never really tried out the other tennis games in the past, though, but I've heard some good things about it. So this is definitely one looking forward to trying out. That's Mario Tennis 8. The next one, and this is one I might try out, and that is Little Nightmare Complete Edition. From what I understand, it's sort of like a puzzle platforming game, and in a way, when seeing that, it kind of, to me, gave off a little bit of a Tim Burton vibe to it, to a certain degree, and I thought that was kind of neat. So I'm definitely looking forward to trying that one out or give that one a go when that one is eventually released. I think it's going to be released this year on the eShop, though. Again, I'm not 100% sure or anything like that. And the next one I do want to talk about, and these are basically ports, and these are basically games that are being brought over to the Nintendo Switch. A couple of these were originally released on the Wii U, but 2 of them were basically originally released on the PS4, and I think one was released just on the PS4, the other one was released on PS4 and Xbox One. And that is Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy, South Park Fractured But Whole, Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition, and Captain Toad's Treasure Trackers. As far as Hyrule Warriors and Captain Toad's Treasure Trackers, those are ones I'm looking forward to trying out. Treasure Tracker was released at probably not a great time on the Wii U and all, but it was a fun game nevertheless, and we are getting it for not only the Switch but the 3DS as well. Not to mention the 3DS has certainly got some support, especially with the announcement of the original Luigi Mansion coming to that as well. So that's good on that one. But anyway, back to Toad's Treasure Tracker. It was a fun game. It did utilize the gamepad, though, although unfortunately it was released at around time the Wii U was just going completely downward and everything like that. Be interesting to see how this plays out on the Nintendo Switch, though. That's the one I'm probably going to get, although it is coming to the 3DS as well. And of course the new, I think, some themes, levels and themes based off of Super Mario Odyssey, so that certainly is nice. Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition is also great. It's probably going to contain everything from the Wii U and the 3DS version, so that's definitely nice to play as well. I definitely liked Hyrule Warriors, although this is the third time this game is being released, so don't know if people are willing to triple dip on this one again or not, but either way, looking forward to that one. And the last two, Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy and South Park Fractured But Whole, are definitely ones I'm looking forward to trying out. Crash Bandicoot was a fun, or Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy was a fun game that was released on the PS4 last year. I definitely put it in one of my top 10 PS4 games. It was a little bit difficult. The difficulty might be turned off for some people, especially with the first game though. The second and third one, they kind of eased it up a little bit, but still, I'm glad Crash is getting a second chance though. Interesting to see him come to the on a Nintendo system, which still kind of boggles my mind considering that he was basically just a PlayStation on the PlayStation system, and people thought he was a PlayStation mascot, but obviously that's not the case. But in either way, glad that's coming, along with South Park Fractured But Whole. I definitely enjoyed that, though. It's a fun RPG type of a game, though. A little bit, not. If there's one area I'm a little bit upset about, is that I wish they also announced the Stick of Truth as well. I would like to see that come to the Nintendo Switch as well. Don't get me wrong, glad South Park Fractured But Whole is coming, but I would like to see Stick of Truth come to it as well. But either way, that's good, and it will probably come with also the DLC, so obviously they're not leaving Switch owners out, so that's definitely nice. So glad that South Park Fractured But Whole is coming to the Switch, hoping that Stick of Truth comes as well. And finally, the last two we have is Sushi Strikers, The Way of Sushido, if I'm saying the name correctly. That was originally coming to the 3DS, and I think it still is, but it's also coming to the Switch as well, so that's definitely nice. I'm willing to try that one out as well. Looks like an interesting game. And last but not least, Travis Strikes Again, No More Heroes. I'm a big fan of Suda51. I love his games. I definitely enjoy the No More Heroes series though. And while I still wish they did a No More Heroes 3, or at least a remake of the first two for the Switch though, this one looks kind of interesting, especially the different gameplays and all that stuff that's going to be in this game. Plus it supports, I think, 2-player co-op. So still, I'm looking forward to trying this one out as well. So that one is definitely one on my radar too. Okay, we're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, we're going to get to the ones that I'm not 100% sure about yet, and some that I have sort of mixed response to. So, and again, these are my opinion on that one as well. So, we'll take a quick break, and we will be right back. Okay, and we are back with part 3, our third and final part of this My 2 Cent video, which looks at the latest Nintendo Direct came out, and I'm going to be telling you about things that I'm kind of mixed and I'm not 100% sure about that they showed at the Nintendo Direct. So why don't we get started on what I was not sure about. The first one is the Detective Pikachu one. Now, I don't want to wail on the game or say I hate Pokemon or anything like that. Even though Pokemon doesn't really interest me as much, I won't deny that there is an audience out there, and I won't also deny the fact that putting out a Pokemon game on the Nintendo Switch would probably sell like hotcakes, though. I won't deny that, though. That said, I'm not sure about Detective Pikachu. Based on what I've seen so far, at least based on what they showed at the Nintendo Direct, and what my impression is that it just doesn't really interest me at all. On top of that, hearing Pikachu talk the way he did, I believe that's Ryan Reynolds talking or something like that. It just seems, well, weird. I'm sorry, but the only time I've ever heard Pikachu talk was saying Pika Pika and all that stuff. It's just this is just weird. It's just weird having and if that's Ryan Reynolds' voice though, it kind of I'm thinking, really, the Deadpool Ryan Reynolds is and all that. It says either way, the game just doesn't interest me as much. I'm sure it might interest other people, but it just didn't really click with me in any way. The next one is the ARMS Global Testpunch, though. I just think it's sort of odd that they're continuing to do this in a way, even though the game has been out in a little bit more than a year, though. I think it came out in May, so we'll be coming up to the anniversary of it, though. And don't get me wrong, ARMS is a good game. It's one of the few fighting games that I enjoyed, and I believe I put it on one of my top 10 Nintendo games of 2017. I just don't know why you need to continue doing all these global test punches and all that stuff, though. I mean, I think the game did okay. I think it sold very well, even for a new IP, just not at a high level and everything like that. I'm just not 100% sure why they are continuing this, though, but it is what it is, though. The next one, and this one might be surprising, is the Super Smash Bros. Now, we all know that near the end of the Direct, though, they showed off a teaser trailer of the upcoming Smash Bros. Game. They did put out a 2018 date for that, though, so obviously they're trying to push that out because we know how popular Smash Bros. Is, though. I'm not a huge Smash Bros. Fan at all, but I won't deny that there is a huge audience for that, though. I think the big question remains is whether or not is this a port of, say, like the past Smash Bros. Games, or is this an all-new Smash Bros. Game? And I think there's been some back and forth on this, though. If I had to take a guess, and this is just my guess indeed, I would say it's probably best that they aim for just creating a whole new Smash Bros. Game. I mean, yes, they could port the Wii U 3DS version, but I'm not sure about that. I think it would be better off if they just simply created a whole new Super Smash Bros. Game. Right now, we don't know exactly a lot of details other than a 2018 date, though. My guess is they'll probably save a lot of it for E3, though, so we'll have to wait and see, along with the Pokemon as well. And finally, last but not least, and this is a common complaint I've heard after the Direct came out, is that majority of the stuff we've seen so far are ports. Lots and lots of ports from this Direct. Now, this is something I wanted to talk about for quite some time regarding ports and so on, and I will say, to me, it goes both ways, though. On one hand, though, I won't deny the fact that I can understand why people don't want to see a whole lot of ports. They want to see original content and so on, and I don't disagree with that, though. At the same time, I think ports can be a good thing, and one of those is filling in the gap for your year, though, and helping and keeping people occupied as they wait for that big release. One of the issues that the Wii U had, and I'm sure there were also other issues, but this is one of them, was the dreaded drought. And with that drought, though, we had to wait a long time for a lot of games to come out, particularly exclusive one, and it basically, not a lot of people were playing the Wii U, compared that to, say, to like what the PS4 had, which, yes, you had to wait for their exclusives to come out, but they also had third-party support and ports to keep you occupied, though. I also think ports can be necessary as they can help build up hype for a new entry in your series. I mean, look at, say, with Bayonetta 1 and 2 just recently came out for the Nintendo Switch. That should help build up hype for, hopefully, when Bayonetta 3 comes out. Rumor has it that it could come out this year. We'll have to wait and see if that's true. So there are benefits to having ports, though. That said, I don't disagree with the argument that you can't have just ports alone as well. You gotta have strong exclusive content, though, to keep your system, get people enriched on why they should invest money into your system, though. Something that seems to be an issue with the Xbox One right now, though. Who knows? I'm sure they might have some ideas from exclusives, though. Whether those pull them people in to buy an Xbox One or not remains to be seen. But that was one of the issues the Xbox One had. It had third-party support, but it didn't have strong enough exclusives to pull people in. And I think this is where I kind of look at it from both ways, though. Yes, I kind of can see why people may be upset with the idea of ports, but I also think it can be a good thing. Plus, with people who are buying the Switch who have maybe never gamed before, or have sort of had a falling out with Nintendo, have now come back thanks to the Nintendo Switch, this may be an opportunity to them to maybe try the games they may have missed out maybe during the Wii U era, though. I mean, I don't have a problem with Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze being ported over to the Nintendo Switch. There are people who probably missed out on it. Now, there is certainly some debate over the price point, since it's going to be a bit more, like, I think $60 or so on, and that certainly is debatable to some degree. But at the same time, I'm glad they're bringing that over. I'm glad South Park Fractured But Whole is coming over, same with Crash Bandicoot and Sane Trilogy. Those who may have missed out on it, though, this is an opportunity to play it. Plus, if the port's good, though, you also have the portability argument as well, of playing South Park Fractured But Whole at home or on the go as well. So there are benefits to ports. There is a good side to it and a bad side to it. So bottom line on that one is, I can understand some people are upset about a lot of the ports coming to the Switch, though, but at the same time, I do see there are some benefits to it as well. So I'm okay with ports coming over to the Switch, but the Switch can't be just ports only, though. It has to have original content, like exclusive content, like say like what Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle is, to original content like Breath of the Wild, Mario Odyssey, ARMS, and Splatoon, and so on. So yes on the ports, just to make sure the system isn't just ports only, though. That's what I have to say, though. Although that doesn't mean that I'm not excited for any other games I would like to see ported over, like say Grand Theft Auto 5 or something like that. Okay, this concludes this My 2 Cent video for this week regarding the Nintendo Direct, this latest Nintendo Direct. And again, these are my opinion. What are yours? What are your thoughts about this latest Nintendo Direct? Are you happy with what you saw? Are you not happy with what you saw? Was it what you expected? Was it not what you expected at all in any way? Were your expectations set too high? Were your expectations set too low? Or were you like me, kind of set it in the middle and see what comes out of it, though? Do you agree with what I said in this video? Do you disagree with what I said? Do you have a difference of opinion? As always, sound off on the comment section below. Let me know what you think. I hope you hit that like button. I would appreciate it. And I hope you do subscribe to my YouTube channel. Also, feel free to share this video if you want to. And also, feel free to donate to my channel if you like. You could do it through PayPal Me or Patreon, though. Links will be in the description of this video. And I will see you again next time when I do another video. Hopefully that will be soon. Until then, from Southern California, I wish you all a good day then. Bye!